Hi Dollar Divas, welcome to Behind the Vanity. I'm Jessica. So today's just gonna kind of be a fun, kind of a lighthearted video. Nothing too crazy. I just wanted to get on here and kind of show you and talk about all the palettes that I've either purchased or had given to me or acquired somehow this year. I'm not gonna be ranking them or anything like that because honestly a lot of them I haven't used enough to put in a rank at all, but I did want to talk about them and maybe do some swatches and just, yeah, kind of tell you how I came about getting the palette, what I think of it so far, all that good stuff. So yeah, like I said, I just wanted to come on here and just kind of have some fun with this video. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. I do hope that you will take just a second and hit that subscribe button. It really helps me and my channel out so very much if you take just a second and do that. And of course, if you're returning, thank you so much for returning. I have a palette playlist, kind of just any palette video I've ever done is in a playlist, and I will have that link down below if you love palette videos. So definitely check that out and binge watch those if you are interested. And without any further chit chat, let's just go ahead and get into today's video. So I'm gonna kind of go in categories. I'm gonna start with my Dollar Tree palettes, then move on to Drugstore, then move on to maybe indie, and then high-end and luxury. So we may end up being here for a little while, so definitely grab a snack and maybe a drink or two, and hopefully it won't be that long. All right, so like I said, we're gonna just dive into Dollar Tree palettes first. I had seen these on Kim Nizzolo's channel here on YouTube, and I had never seen them in my Dollar Tree until this year. So I picked up one of each. These are the LA Colors eyeshadow palettes, and they're like these little books, like little cardboard with an elastic, and they are just basically these little tiny miniature eyeshadow palettes. This is Strawberry Peach, this is Caramel Chocolate, and this is Honey Lavender. So as you can see, three very different color stories, and you know, I really like them pretty good. I've used this one here the most, and really the shadows themselves are decent quality, especially for something that costs $1. Generally at Dollar Tree, I find the smaller the palette, the better the quality. Like for instance, the LA Colors Trios I find to be better than like the 12 pan eyeshadow palettes. So like the pan size is a little bit annoying because it is so small, but you know, I do think it's a really nice little idea for travel, you know, and you just kind of make do with it. So I do think these are a very interesting idea, and I was really happy to find them at my Dollar Tree. And with these, you might actually have a prayer at like finishing up an eyeshadow palette, because God knows we never do. So I acquired these this year, as well as, and I think I've used one of these this year. I think I've only ever swatched a couple of these other ones. And I've got another one or two of these that I acquired last year, but these are just what I acquired this year. Got the LA Colors 12 pan eyeshadow palettes. I got Chic, which is like a purple color story. Urban, which is kind of colorful. Then I've got Supernatural, which of course is blue. And even though I acquired this year, I used to have one and I decluttered it some time ago. So I put it back in my collection. That way I can do eyeshadow duping videos and all that good stuff. So it made its way back into my collection. And I did a video recently where I used this one here, and I found that applying these mattes with a finger is much better than trying to apply them with a brush. See? That is the difference. There's a lot of fallout, whereas if you apply it with your finger, you get that result. So that is definitely something to keep in mind, and something I learned in a Get Ready With Me, which is perfectly fine. You know, we've all spent years putting shimmer shadows on with our finger. Then we discovered the brush with the setting spray and all that good stuff. So, you know, you do what works, you know what I mean? And if that's what your budget allows, that's a trick for you that I just kind of discovered by accident in a desperate attempt to create a look. So, like I said, these aren't the best quality eyeshadows at the Dollar Tree, but with a little bit of technique and all that good stuff, let's go ahead and swatch maybe this one here. See, that's really beautiful. Again, applied it with my finger versus a brush. That's actually really pretty. A little bit of technique, you know, you can make them work. So like I said, definitely something to keep in mind if this is what your budget allows for you to buy, and nothing much more than that. And also too, sometimes you can't always find these, but yeah, I can usually always find these at my Dollar Tree. And then this is something I acquired as well. It's from Hard Candy. It's the Top 10 Eyeshadow Collection. This is in Naturally Gorgeous. First of all, here's the packaging. And I think I used this in a Get Ready With Me at one point. So it's got this these palettes are all very shimmery. I actually have another one that I'm gonna show you. And this one here, this shade right here is just a really nice kind of champagne shade, great under the brow bone highlight. Then you get some of these beautiful gold shades. This palette has some repetitiveness in it, you know, it's just the nature of the shades in this palette. There's some of the other 2 shades right there. So yeah, so I thought this would be really good for like a natural Dollar Tree look. So when I saw it, I definitely picked it up. So then I'm gonna show you 4 more palettes from the Dollar Tree and then we'll move on to the next category. And I actually just did a video where I got some friend mail from my friend here on YouTube, Marina from Confessions of a Dollar Tree Addict. I will have her channel as well as the video that I'm gonna tell you about linked down below. She sent me some friend mail and she has she's obsessed with the Dollar Tree, just like we all are. And she sent me a bunch of makeup from her Dollar Trees up where she lives. And she sent me some amazing stuff that I haven't been able to find at my Dollar Trees. So a couple were these glitter palettes from Hard Candy. This is actually one, she actually sent me this and I actually had already had it. It was the only thing in the package that I had been able to find myself. So I'm keeping the one she gave me for a future giveaway or to give to a friend. So this is the one that I had already opened. And this is the Look Pro Glitter Palette in Glitter Vibes. And if you missed that video, y'all have got to know Hard Candy has the best, the absolute best pressed glitters. Profusions are good. I feel like Hard Candies are better. They just go on like butter. Even like these eyeshadows that it came with are really, really nice. So here's swatches of a few of the shades, some of the pressed glitters, and then those are a couple of the shadows. I've used a couple different brands of pressed glitters. Hard Candies are the best. They go down into the pan, which is not something that you always get. I've used this one right here quite a bit and this gold one, and that glitter goes all the way down. So amazing quality pressed glitters and really nice eyeshadows as well. So I had actually been eyeing these at Walmart some time ago, and she sent me one and I was just so excited. So this is the Hard Candy Glitter Gel Palette. This is in Center of Attention. Here's what the packaging looks like. I'm a sucker for anything metallic pink, you guys. And like I said, you can find these sometimes at the Dollar Tree. I think Walmart still carries them. Absolutely gorgeous. So she sent that to me. I used this in a recent Get Ready With Me. I have a Makeup and Celebrity Sunday series, and I did one where I talk about the life of Marilyn Monroe, and I use this palette, so super fun. So if you're looking for some amazing pressed glitters, definitely check out Hard Candy. Whether you get it at the Dollar Tree or Walmart, Hard Candy has amazing pressed glitters. So then she sent me this palette here as well. It's the Top 10 Trendsetter Eyeshadow Collection. This is in Raining Men. Here's the packaging. And look at this, the beauty of this. I use this also in that Get Ready With Me. I dug into a couple of the shades. This will be beautiful at Christmas time or any time of the year. Again, it's all shimmers, but they're really, really, really nice. And for $1, if you can find it at your Dollar Tree, you can't beat it. This is the Look Pro eyeshadow palette, and this is all that rose gold. Again, here's the packaging. This is a big eyeshadow palette. And like I said, I have not seen a lot of these in my Dollar Tree, but she was able to find this. This has a combination of shimmers and mattes, and it's a little bit reminiscent of the Natasha Denona Love palette. You've got some of those shades in there. And I think to Get Ready With Me, I used like these 3 mattes on this corner right here, and then I used that shade right there, which is like a beautiful pink with like a gold shimmer. Absolutely stunning. Yeah, so really like this palette. Like I said, it was just amazing she could find it at the Dollar Tree. And then these I also have acquired this year, and there's only, I actually have I think 5 of these, and one I actually purchased last year, so I'm not including it. But it's these 6-pan eyeshadow palettes from LA Colors. This is Playful. This is Night Out. I thought this was kind of an interesting color story. This is in Fling. And this is in Hot. Now, generally the way I feel about these is I like that the shadows really aren't shimmery, but they're not matte either. So I find that very not offensive. Now, do I think that all of these could be quads? Absolutely. There's always like 2 or 3 shades in all of these that are literally identical. So I really do feel these would be better suited as quads or even 5-pan. Like, see those 2 blue-green shades? They're like basically identical. A couple of these shades here are so close, you know, you could easily narrow this down to like 4 or 5. But you know, that's just the way it is. But I really do like these. It took me the longest time to actually buy these at the Dollar Tree and use them. and I really, really like them, you know, especially for $1. The quality is pretty decent. Like I said, it's better. Quality of these are better than the 12-pan eyeshadow palettes, but I still think the trios are even better, but definitely can't go wrong for $1. So now we're gonna move on to like drugstore price range eyeshadow palettes. This first one here is really exciting because, okay, so little backstory. I have never purchased a Natasha Denona palette. And there's been a couple that have caught my eye, but I've just never been able to pull the trigger on the price point. And so when the Glam palette came out, I remember thinking, that is like the most boring eyeshadow palette I've ever seen. Like, who needs it? But kind of over time, this year I've been I love my bright colors, but I've been collecting some more neutral palettes. Why, I don't know. But it kind of started to wear me down, and I was almost gonna pull the trigger and buy it. And then I saw that this came out. I'd never tried this brand, I'd always wanted to. The Alter Ego brand. There's a few brands that tend to dupe high-end and luxury eyeshadow palettes, and this is one of them. And my friend, I think I saw this first from my friend Tasha St. James here on YouTube, and I'd seen this just in the nick of time, and it's the Shadow Kiss palette from Alter Ego. The outside packaging is really nothing like Natasha Denona. It's this cardboard packaging, but the inside, and I will put up a picture of the Natasha Denona version of this, but it is pretty much a dupe. These of course, you can see it's been fairly well loved already. I've used this quite a bit. This one actually has names on it, where the Natasha Denona palettes, if you're not familiar, have like inner corner, outer corner, crease, liner, all that kind of thing. And I think that another difference between this and Natasha Denona, other than the price and the fact that apparently Natasha Denona, her mattes and the quality of her eyeshadows are apparently amazing. This might fall a little short of that, but it was like 20 bucks, you know, versus like $65. But I do think they mixed up the order of the shadows, so everything's not in the same order, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to look at the picture a little closely. But yeah, so I picked this up, and you know, I don't know that I would have been happier had I spent more money, you know what I mean? So I've been really, really enjoying this, and if that palette has been catching your eye, definitely check out Alter Ego. This video is not sponsored by them. I don't even have an affiliate code or anything like that. But yeah, if you've been eyeing that palette, there is a dupe out there. So yeah, I was very excited to get that. Then I purchased this at Walmart. Again, I've been going through a pressed glitter phase this year, and I was having a hard time finding some. So I saw this Wet n Wild pigment palette. This is in Blacked Out, and they had several different colors, and this is from like the Fantasy Makers line. So there's what the packaging looks like. And I haven't really used this very much. I'll go ahead and like swatch. The shadows look really nice. I don't think I've really used them yet. And I would show you the black glitter, but like legit, I can't like ever get it off. I didn't really want that color, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Wet n Wild has disappointed. I'm literally going into this 3 times, and that is the payoff. Again, I mean, it's not the worst. I mean, it's still gonna get you a pretty effect, but the glitter, I don't know if you can really tell as much. It kind of looks like it goes all the way down, but it really doesn't. It doesn't pay off the way the hard candy ones do. So I am very disappointed in this. Like I said, I'll probably end up using the eyeshadows, but very, very, very disappointed in the quality of Wet n Wild's pressed glitters. Definitely do not recommend at all. So then, in my attempt to find more neutral eyeshadows and an attempt to not buy the Natasha Denona one, I have probably spent about $65 to be quite honest. But you know, and I don't really know why I bought these. I guess I just did, but they're the CoverGirl, and I think I got a deal if I bought 2. It's the CoverGirl True Naked eyeshadow palettes. This is in nudes, this is in smoky, so let me show you the smoky one. So it's got, you know, grays and silvers and whites and kind of a purplish shade in there, kind of randomly. And it's got mattes and shimmers. Then I got this one here. And I haven't used either one of them very much. I have used this one a little bit more. Between the two, I like this one better. And I think a lot of it's just that my skin tone goes better with shades like this than shades like these, to be quite honest. So here is the nudes. Really a very nice nude palette. And then this is the other one. You know, they're pigmented good and everything. Like I said, I guess I kind of impulsively bought them and probably didn't really need them. So my feelings are a little bit indifferent. So yeah, but if I had to do it over again, I would have probably just picked this one up, if having them at all. I don't feel they really add anything to my collection. It was just something I kind of impulsively bought. But they are nice. There's nothing wrong with them. I just should have been a little bit more mindful as to what I needed in my collection at the time. You know what I mean? So then I picked this up for a steal, just like I did my other Profusion palette. This is my second Profusion palette, and I bought it at the same store, the Burke's Outlet, and instead of paying $16, I paid $7.99. And mine is already well loved and kind of a mess. And I have already hit pan, of course, on one shade. And today I'm actually wearing this palette today. I'm wearing these two shades right here. I'm wearing this shade, a little bit of the yellow, and then I'm wearing like a mixture of like that and these browns here. I'm wearing quite a few of the colors, but I absolutely love this. The shimmers are beautiful. It's got a beautiful array of colors. Of course, you can get neutral looks with these two end rows here, and then you get your yellows, your oranges, your pinks, fuchsias, purples, blues. It's just a beautiful palette, and it would be well worth the $16 if you bought it at $16. I just happened to find mine at $7.99, but if I knew what I know now, I would totally pay $16 for it. I think I like this one better than my Mirage palette. I have like a go-to look with my Mirage palette, but this one here, I just feel like the possibilities are a little bit more endless because there's more variety in the palette. So I absolutely love this palette. I find myself reaching for this over and over and over again, which is some of the reason why I haven't reached for other palettes, is because of this one right here. Love it. And then this one here I bought a little earlier in the year as well. It's the NYX Ultimate Utopia. This color story has always caught my eye, and so I just finally caved in and purchased it. And this really, the looks are endless. That pink and green right there in the center has always caught my eye. All the greens. This shade right here is stunning. You know, this purple, these two shades right here are absolutely stunningly beautiful. This mustard yellow shade right here is gorgeous. Just a beautiful color story. And even the smaller version of this, I think it's a 16 pan, pretty much gives you the whole vibe of this palette. I feel like the 5 pan one, you don't get the vibe of this palette. I had just waited so long to purchase it that I wanted the big one. So yeah, this is a great palette too. Kind of between the two. I do tend to reach for this one more, but this one here, I mean, that gold, I mean, how beautiful. I mean, just absolutely a stunning palette. These are kind of neck and neck for me. I do reach for this one more than my Mirage palette as well, and I kind of put these 3 palettes in the same category because they're huge and all that kind of thing, but ultimately I do think I like this one a little bit better. But yeah, I adore this palette as well too. So definitely 2 palettes I've acquired this year that I absolutely love. You just can't fit them in a makeup bag. There's no fitting them in a makeup bag. So this one here is kind of a regret. Again, it was just part of my neutral eye craze that I experienced. They had a few different color stories of this, and I got this at Marshall's, and I think I've seen it at TJ Maxx as well. It's the Cara Duo brand from Cara Beauty. I'd never heard of the brand before. It is a cruelty-free and paraben-free company. This is what the packaging looks like. This is Pro 12 The Essentials Pro Eyeshadow Palette. I haven't used it a whole lot. It's beautiful. I mean, it is absolutely beautiful. Got a lot of neutral shades, some kind of minor pops of color. You get some gold, you get some pinks. You know, you get your browns. You have pretty much any type of rich brown you would want, you have. You get black and kind of more like gray, black tones here, which is nice. You don't always get that in a palette, especially ones with browns. So I don't know, something about this has left more to be desired with me for some reason. So there's a couple of the shimmers, really pretty. And like I said, I guess it's not that I don't like this palette or that I will not love this palette at some point. I guess here's a couple of the mattes. A little repetitive. They look much more different in the pans than they do on the hand. But I guess I've just been so kind of enthralled with some other palettes that I've just like completely forgot that I bought this and have it. So it's hard for me to reach for it when I've got some other palettes. And that's just kind of what happened. So I really, again, this particular one didn't really need to buy, and I kind of have some regrets. I don't know what I paid it, maybe $16, $17, $20 or something like that. Really didn't need it. And yeah, like I said, just compared to other things that I have in here, some of which you've seen, I don't really reach for this very much. So now we're getting into indie, luxury, and high-end, and I have kind of one of each. So this one here, this is special to me, you guys. My friend Gigi here on YouTube, I will have her channel linked down below. You hear me talk about her from time to time, and we've done a collab together and all that good stuff. She had an extra one of these that she got in like a subscription box or something like that, and she gifted it to me because she already owns the palette, and it is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance, which I have a couple ABH palettes and I do not have this one. So she was so nice to give this to me. Of course, it has a brush like, you know, all the palettes have. And so mine's kind of well loved, and I'm still kind of experimenting with it. But yeah, excuse the mess. I have had this in my makeup bag because I've been using it. Just a beautiful, beautiful palette. You've got them beautiful shimmers. You've got those pinks. You've got, you know, you can do a very neutral eye look. So absolutely a beautiful, beautiful palette. So I'm so happy to have this in my collection. It's I think my third ABH palette. I love all three of my ABH palettes. It took me a long time to acquire ABH palettes, and now that I have, I love them. So yes, I am absolutely loving this palette. I use it for the stage. I use it for just like regular eye looks. You cannot go wrong with the Modern Renaissance palette. So yeah, I'm so happy to have this in my collection. So now this palette here, I actually bought a couple weeks ago. I had been eyeing it for a really long time, and I finally bit the bullet and bought it. And I think this is actually in the luxury category. I don't know, some might argue high-end or luxury. Not really sure, but it is the most I've ever paid for a palette. So that I know, and I am talking about the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette. So here it is. I've used it a couple of times, haven't used it quite as much as I've wanted to, but I have always thought this is a gorgeous palette. And I know there is a dupe for this by, I don't know which brand it is, either Alter Ego, W7, or one of those, but this palette is so pretty. I need to play with it more. Of course, the packaging's beautiful. I need to play with it more. Like I said, this is the newest palette to my collection, and I had been eyeing it for quite some time. It was $65, so it's kind of up there with the price of the Natasha Denona palettes. This is my first Huda Beauty purchase as well. I know their shadows can be kind of hit or miss from what I understand, but I'd always eyed this palette, and I'm just so excited to finally have it. And like I said, I need to kind of play with it more. That's why I couldn't do a ranking. Hopefully I can do one at the end of the year between these palettes and whatever ones I accumulate between now and the end of the year. Do some kind of a ranking video or something like that. But yeah, I haven't used this quite enough yet, but ooh, I'm just so excited to finally have it. So yeah, this year I purchased my very first eyeshadow palette from an indie brand, which is something I would love to do more. I just haven't done it. But I did buy this, and I'm so excited. My friend Evany here on YouTube turned me onto this palette. She bought it and made it look amazing. And you've seen this before on my channel. It's something I purchased a little earlier in the year. But it is the companion palette, and it's from Copacetic Cosmetics, and I guess it's M. Jones 5018. It's like a collab. And here is what it looks like. And on the back, it's got the names of the eyeshadows. They're like real names. And I'd never noticed this before till just now. I guess the artist who did this artwork on here is Elisa Lutanemi. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correct. But this palette is dedicated to the best companions. Megan, who is alive from 1994 to 2020, and Nina, that was alive from 2012 to 2020. So I'm assuming that is probably whoever owns the company, their dogs, or M. Jones. So anyway, this is actually they call it the companion palette, because it's about companions, you know, your dog. But also too, it's actually a toppers. They're not like standalone eyeshadows. They've got different finishes and different tones in them and stuff, and they're meant to top eyeshadows that you already have. And I have not even begun to scratch the surface of what this thing can do. And so, like I said, I still need to dig into it much more. But my friend Evany, I will find that video that she had that kind of turned me on to this and sold me on it. I will have it linked down below so you can see what she can do with it, because she does amazing things with eyeshadow. But yeah, so I'm super excited to have this in my collection. Like I said, I have not played with it nearly as much as I would like. I think I do have a video or two where I use it, and I'll have those linked down below. A couple of get ready with me's, but yeah, super excited to have it in my collection. And yeah, I just, like I said, need to play with it more. So I hope that you enjoyed this kind of different, fun video talking about eyeshadow palettes. Who doesn't love to talk about eyeshadow palettes? I know I do. A lot of us do. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, show me you did by hitting that like button. Definitely check out all my other palette videos in that playlist that I'll have linked down below. Check out my friends, any of my friends that I mentioned here on YouTube. Go check them out, show them some love. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.